Ahoy everyone, I'm Chris from Rustic Rabbit and welcome back to the channel. So today we've borrowed a recipe that's Asian inspired for quail from Food and Wine, and we've kind of done our own take on it, and we're gonna help you do that today. Okay, so the big difference for how I'm treating quail today, typically I take it, the way I process them and package them, it's skin on, they're whole, then you're roasting them or doing something to that effect, okay? Or you can actually get, shears, cut the along the spine on both sides on the back, and you can spatchcock it. This recipe calls for a semi-boneless. I put a tutorial right here. That's not me doing the tutorial, but this lady has it down pat. She does it in a few minutes, makes it real simple, easy to follow. Okay, so you want to start with the marinade. This is a real simple evolution. So you take your ingredients that I listed here, put them all in a food processor, blend it right up, and you have yourself a marinade, okay? Put it in a Ziploc bag with your quail or a Tupperware. I like the Ziploc because I can kind of get it in there, kind of move it around a little bit, make sure it gets all over it. Then stick it in the fridge for a couple hours, let it soak, and then you're good to go. Okay, so like any other meal that we typically cook, start with your pan, get your oil up to temperature, and then you get your cut, onions, or we use shallots this time, right? Your jalapeños, your garlic. Put that in there because that's going to need some time to kind of cook down and start to sweat. Get the moisture out of there. It should only really take 3 or 4 minutes. Mix that around, get it, to where it's basically about translucent, just sort of like how you kind of gauge the onions. Usually takes 3 or 4 minutes, not very long. And after that, you're ready to kind of put your sugar in, your brown sugar, your cane sugar, and that will melt down. I mean, in less than 2 minutes, pretty quick. Get that all mixed up, get the flavors sort of simmering, and get them all mixed together. Now from there, I use tamarind concentrate. I don't use tamarind very often, so tamarind paste is typically what is called for. It's a little bit more work though to add the water and then kind of strain it out and get it all ready. I use the concentrate. It's much quicker. I really can't taste the difference. I've done both, so that gives you a little bit of a shortcut. So once you got the tamarind done, you have that nice base for your chili paste. Put the spices in there that you need, the chili powder, all that kind of stuff, and then from there, you're good to go on that. The next thing you want to do, pretty traditional for any kind of Asian meal, your fish sauce. Doesn't smell overly great, but it does wonders to your meal, and you really need it in there. So the next thing you want to do is make the dressing. Okay, so take a couple tablespoons of that chili paste that you just made, put it in a bowl, and whip it around with some lime juice and cilantro. The next thing, your 3-bean salad. You should use a bigger bowl here. You want to be real careful once you get everything in there to very gently move things around. Get all the flavors and the ingredients mixed up because you're going to put some of that dressing you made in there and some tomatoes and other things. You want to be careful, though, not to mash your peas and all that and your beans, because that can happen, and then it just turns to mush. It's a totally different idea. So the last thing you would do is take your marinated quail, get that. You just want to basically cook it on both sides. Total, it should be about 5 or 6 minutes. Shouldn't take that long if your oil is hot enough. Okay, so lesson learned on the plating. The 3-bean salad, while it does have some colors with the tomatoes and the cilantro, by and large, it's going to be about the same color as the cooked quail. So you want to separate those. It just feels like you should be putting it on top of the bed of 3-bean salad. But really, in retrospect, I would probably separate them so that they have a little bit more definition and contrast on the plate. But this is a really nice meal. It's very simple to make, very quick. And it's delicious flavors. You're not going to believe the flavors. It's really a worthwhile effort. Okay, so Food and Wine actually recommends a sweeter white wine, maybe something with a lot of fruit, one of those Oregon wines from up there in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest. We took something, again, I like local, so I took something from Llano. It was more of a blush, but it was still kind of on the sweeter side, I guess, with lots of fruits in it. So that paired really nicely. I would say good job, Food and Wine. That was an excellent recommendation on the pairing. Okay, so some parting shots on this meal. Anytime you use anything with citrus or ginger, there's usually a pretty strong flavor, both aroma and taste, okay? So you want to make sure everything you do incrementally. Little by little, add a little bit, see how it tastes, add a little bit, see how it tastes. That's what you need to do. If you go all in, you can end up drowning out some of the flavors. And then it's just a little bit too much, right? It'll hit you. So a little bit goes a long way. increments, slow. Don't forget to taste it as you're going. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this meal. I'll tell you, it's one of the simpler meals to make. Don't overthink it. It presents really nicely and it tastes really great, and it's a pretty quick meal to do. So, have at it, give it a try, let me know how it went for you. If you have any questions, like I said, leave it down below. I'd be happy to jump on it. And as always, God bless.